be a mere consolation. In comes the high ball. Keeper Gaston can't hold on to it, and Brian Graham must score, and does. So Brian Graham pulls one back in the 97th minute. Bad Cole just chips it into the box. Up goes Brownlee. It's back to Cardle. Plays it into the middle. Goal! Thistle! And it's Brian Graham who scores from close range. A great cross on the right. Graham got clear of his marker, and I think he was a. There's no foul. It's back to Cole. Cole can play it into the box. He does. It's a decent one. It's headed goal once and into the net. It's into the net. It's Lewis Mayo. Was it Lewis Mayo or was it? I think it was Lewis Mayo.
It was Graham.
Was it Ali? Well, it was. Onside against Gordon. The appeal is there, and it's in for Graham, who must score, and he does score. Brian Graham. As this will come back again. Here's Cardle. Drills it across, header, goal! Brian Graham! Thistle. It's Brian Graham stepping up and scores. Thistle 1, East 5-0. Jordan Hart beaten.
Wide area.
Another good header, and Graham can turn now. Has he got the pace? He's going to get there, I think, in front of his man, and chips the goalkeeper.
Oh, what a strike!
A wonderful goal! Brian Graham, if you... The penalty area, swings it in with the left foot. It's not the worst ball. Other header from Graham. Goal! Thistle, Brian Graham scores. One is about to come on as Thistle get to the byline. Williamson chips it back. Goal! It's 2-2, and Thistle have got level. Brian Graham's chance to run at his man. Can he deliver it? Yes, he can. Header, Brian Graham, 2-1. Brian Graham scores with a header from a brilliant Joe Cardle. Heads towards goal, and it's ended up in the net. That is an own goal, I think. Or is it? Or is from Joe Cardle, right-footed, decent delivery into a good area. Bell does get on the end of it. It doesn't get cleared. Header off the bar, into the net. Brian Graham has scored for Thistle. It was a header that crashed off the bar. It came down, and I think they'll be the first two names in the team sheets for next season if the two of them are still with us. Here's Brian Graham creating a bit of space. Shoots. Goal! Brian Graham makes it 3-0 with a stunning strike from 20 yards. To find Tiffany in a bit of space. Now it's Rudden wide. Penrice. Williamson coming up. He doesn't go. He goes to Rudden again. Can he square it? He does. Goal! Thistle. Brian Graham makes it 4-0, and he has scored in front of the Thistle fans, who are here, of course, out at the gate.
Doherty's just dropped inside the Thistle half. Now he moves forward and tries to lift it to Kyle Turner. Turner's little knock down to Brian Graham as an angle for a shot here. Drills it low. Lovely goal from Thistle. Everything's about a shot. Didn't get a space for it in the end. And now Tiffany moving into the box. Up against Sean Crichton. That's just turned back. Goes to Foster. His cross. Brian Graham gets a header, and there's the goal. Brian Graham. To Turner rather. And then McKeever just at the right side of the box. Niang was down injured. He chips it across. Brian Graham's got a head to it, and that's an opening goal for Thistle. Not the best first. He'll move just inside the Dumbarton half. Then a ball forward that Graham flicks on. There's no offside flag. Conor Murray's in behind. He's well tracked by Lynch, but lays it into Brian Graham. Low shot, and that one's into the net. A brace for Brian Graham. His flick. Ball in. Can Thistle make it count? Rudden chips it to the back post. A chance for the header. And goal! Equaliser for Brian Graham from not far out. Lovely ball from Zach Rudden. Behind him. If he could have turned that, but he holds on to the ball and keeps control of it. Chips it to the back post. And who's there again? And it's just about in. It is in! Thistle go 2-1 up. It was a first header from McKenna. Morton goal. Turner. Another decent delivery. And it is another goal for Partick Thistle. And it's big Brian Graham who's got that one ahead of. This time as he takes it off, gives it to Bannigan. Nice ball from Bannigan up to Graham, just stays on side. He's got Hasty to his left. Graham might not fancy using anybody else. It's still Brian Graham. Shoots. Goal! What a strike from Brian Graham. You just felt that he was doing. Foster goes in behind for Tiffany to chase after, and he's going to get there, Scott Tiffany, and keep it in with plenty of space. Matheson's out of position. Tiffany across the front and into the net from Brian Graham. Excellent ball to the back. He's going to chip it wide to Tiffany. He brings it down, good first touch. He's got two players in front of him, in Ryan and Matheson. Foster trying to help him out, but he goes past two of them. He's into the box. Is he going to cut it back? He plays it across, and Murray hits the post. Then Brian Graham bundles it home. 6-0 to Thistle. Who would have thought this was going to be the scoreline tonight?
Corner. Nice area. Ooh, it's chance. Goal! What a finish from Brian Graham. He just met the corner on the volley and put it into the corner of the net. Out to Kieran McKenna. McKenna across to Doherty. Doherty turns, gives it back to McKenna. This is good play. McKenna delivers a decent ball. Graham! Goal! 3-0 Thistle. Great ball from Kieran McKenna and the perfect header across.
Cammy Smith just looked like he might be giving McGill a chance to get a tackle in there, but that's going to fall back to Smith at the angle, plays it across, tackling for Brian Graham. There's the opening goal.
Design, I think, but now the football can start. And here we go. Can Thistle mount a chance for Brian Graham? Shoot, score! Brian Graham, just the typical Brian Graham style. Great ball from, gets it out to Tiffany. Tiffany's into the box, now he tries to shoot and he finds the back of the net. Scott Tiffany opens the scoring exactly as he did here the last time. A different type, no, not Scott Tiffany.
I think it was Brian Graham that had the finishing touch there.
I thought Tiffany just ran it. Open it up to get Thistle going through Tiffany up the left hand side, and Tiffany's at it again. This time he's getting up to the edge of the box, plays it in, a header from Graham, into the net again, no doubts about it this time. It's the same combination, it's Scott Tiffany. Brian Graham against Mark Ridgers then, to try and put Thistle back in front. Can Brian find the target? Up he comes, scores with aplomb, burying it right down the middle of the goal. Mark Ridgers went to his left, and there is a
again with a lot of space. Again he chips it into the middle. This one does find Brian Graham. No offside flag. Right foot shot, finds the back of the net, and there's that second goal Thistle were looking for. Doherty moves it out to the right again for Fitzpatrick. He'll be able to keep that one in. Puts a crossing on the right foot. Brian Graham attacking it. Finds the back of the net. Brian Graham scores. He might have just about to be it. Hodgson on Lawless, I should say, onto his left foot. Forward to McKinnon. Brian Graham in the middle. Tap in for Brian Graham. There's the opening goal for Thistle. They started the game on fire, you felt it was coming. Inverness then grew back into things.
Defend against that.
Poor ball back, Tiffany leaves it for Brian Graham, second goal! Really poor back pass from Robbie Dees. Scott Tiffany active to the situation and then unself. The cross, plays it out for McMillan instead. He puts the cross in, Brian Graham header and goal for Thistle. Thistle back on level terms, 26 minutes played.
It's an either or.
Fitzpatrick towards the back post, Muirhead trying to battle for it, falls to Graham, and there's the opening goal. No offside flag, knocked down by Aaron Muirhead from Fitzpatrick's free kick, and then Brian Turner plays it in low and it deflects towards goal. It's into the corner, Brian Graham's claiming it. A strange opening goal.
Over on the far side by Kyle Turner, not a particularly great one, although it comes right across, and somehow I think Brian Graham's got a touch on that. It's in.
Back to Lawless, onside, right foot across to the back post, header from Millen, it's touched in. No offside flag and Thistle have the lead going into the break. Favour, Harry Milne wins it back though, and then out to Fitzpatrick, who's got in behind Barrett. Fitzpatrick, left foot cross, Brian Graham tapping. Thistle have the opener, 15 minutes in, Aidan Fitzpatrick. This one floated towards Harry Milne and McAvoy. Milne meets it, drops towards Milne again. Now Brian Graham puts it in. Simple stuff from Thistle, good ball. Floats it. McAvoy meets it, at the back post, it's Graham, it's 2-0! Thistle have a second goal, McAvoy driving infield, still going Tiffany, try to cut it into Harry Milne, great ball, Harry Milne across the box, Brian Graham taps it in, 2-0 to Thistle, a well worked goal, Harry Milne with another assist and Brian Graham with another goal. Plays it out to Graham, who's just held his onside, driving at the corner of the box, Tiffany in the middle, Graham going himself on his left foot. Back to his right, left again, shoots, deflected and in. Brian Graham's got his goal. You could see early in the first half that he wanted that one. And he's Patrick into Turner, Turner onto his left foot, lifts it towards Brian Graham at the back post. Graham meets it, and there's the opener goal for Thistle. Great ball to the back stick by Kyle Turner and Brian. Robson with the header away. Muirhead heads it to Hodgson. Hodgson flicks it onto Graham. Graham finds the bomb corner. It's 4-3 in the 96th minute. Lovely little flick on from Lee Hodgson, and it's goal number 49 from Brian Graham, who fires it past the goalkeeper to give Thistle a goal advantage. This one fizzed in, it's towards Graham and Brownlee. Graham strikes in, finds the net, goal number 50 for Brian Graham, and what a time to get it. Brilliantly controlled volley, and Thistle have the lead.
Wow,
Doherty's got room. Playing it over the top to Tiffany. He's onside here. Cuts it across the goal, and Brian Graham turns it in! 2-0 to Thistle! Not even 5 minutes played in the second half, and Tiffany sets up Graham. The Jags have doubled. Holding on to possession, gives it out to Fitzpatrick on the left. Fitzpatrick now, left foot across the 6-yard box. Brian Graham's there again! Thistle 3, Ayr United now, and it's Brian Graham once again with a tap-in. Aidan Fitzpatrick's cross in the first half couldn't be turned down. Turner's right foot cross towards Graham. Graham strikes it well! Back of the net! Oh, what a goal right on 45 minutes! And what a goal from Brian Graham to give Thistle a 2-0 lead going into the break. Corner taken short. By the referee, now it's Graham again from a similar angle. Plays it through to Ben Williamson, who cuts it back to Graham, and Graham finds a corner. There's the equaliser. Lawless runs over it. It's Graham. Oh, it's a goal! Brian Graham! What a strike! And his first offence from the group stages. Brian Graham steps up and scores! Brian Graham does it! Getting back in goal side, but Lawless checks inside and then chips it in towards Graham. Great ball. Graham chests it and finishes! Brian Graham makes it 2-0. Steve finds Lawless back to McMillan, takes a shot and it's blocked. Brian Graham! He pokes in. Thistle have the lead. They'll ask him for the pass. Pass comes in towards Robinson. He flicks it on towards Graham. Graham strikes it in off the post. Quick fire goals for Brian Graham. Chase that gets through to Fitzpatrick. Brian Graham making a run in the middle. Fitzpatrick going at Comrie onto his left foot, cross, and a shot spills it, and Brian Graham's there, and what a mistake. It's McEnroy takes the shot on, and well saved by Albinson. Brian Graham on the follow-up. Thistle have with a heavy pass, and Gaston has to handle that one. Graham following it up. He's got a chance to score, chips it, it's blocked, and it goes in. Brian Graham. Still looking towards middle of the goal. Mehmet grabs it, drops it. Brian Graham turns it in. Goal. Your head now with a long ball over the top, looking for Graham. No flag. Gaston coming for it. Graham trying to get there. He gets there now at the tight angle. Finds that finish. Brilliant run from Brian Graham. Stayed onside. Randall, right footed cross. Good area. Robinson lets it run through. Graham taps it in. Thistle have the lead. It's great work from Fitzpatrick. Starters his run up and fires it in. Thistle back level. They fell forward. One that drops to Milne. Heads it to Graham. His volley! Oh, what a goal, Brian Graham! It's a bit of room. His shot half blocked. Now Brian Graham heads in. Thistle have their leveller, and you tackle.
In comes the corner, it's a beauty, header goes forwards and in from Brian Graham, no flag up, Brian Graham puts Thistle ahead after just 1 minute and 55 seconds.
Stutter drawn up again. Rifles it in, Thistle back on terms. They look down and out at 2-0. Graham in, who can now dribble past Power and look to go forward, takes the shot on a low one and it sneaks under Mullen. Brian Graham opens the score in the 27th minute. The keeper up to the air, missed by a few players. Brian Graham strikes it, deflected, and in. That's crossed the line. Thistle go one up. Back to Stanway. He takes the shot on, saved by Hemfrey. Graham on the follow-up, puts it in. He's got his goal against Adrionians. The keeper doesn't cover him. He can drive forward with it, playing it to McEnroy, back to Nielsen. Nielsen then through to Graham. Graham on his left foot. Cuts back inside, looking for the space to shoot, and slams it in! Off the underside of the bar, it's Brian Graham again, he's got it. Looks for the ball in behind, Robinson runs over it, it's Fitzpatrick now into the box, taken wide, but still got it, plays it in towards Graham, Graham turns it in, no flag and a goal! This will take the lead after... McEnroy can't quite bring it under control, it bounces his way, now Robinson. Looking for the cutback, comes to Graham, he flicks it in! What a finish from Brian Graham! And Thistle making a...
Motherwell have gone 3-0 up against Edinburgh City. This will try to go 3-2 up here at Firhill.
Milne flicks it on towards goal. Brian Graham's there, and he bundles it in. Another one. Floated. Ashcroft rises. His header, that one was over the line. Brian Graham smuggles it in. Thistle are 2-0 up, whatever you think. Crawford quickly looking for Graham. It finds Graham, who's in behind. Fitzpatrick easing his man off the ball. Graham slots it in. Thistle are back on level terms, and it's their skipper Brian. Can go further wide to Harry Milne on the left to take on Buchanan. Gets a bit of room to put the cross, and it's a good cross as well. And Graham heads in. Brilliant work on down the left. Cuts inside. Trying to switch out to Fitzpatrick, but the pass got blocked. Then Crawford wins it. Lay off. Brian Graham shot, finds the ball, corner. There he is, Brian Graham. First league goal of the season. What a goal it is! By Bannigan, drops to Robinson, who plays it first time in behind for Chalmers to race after, and he gets there ahead of Badley Morgan. Chalmers cutting in onto his left foot and curling one towards goal, deflected. Brian Graham's there and turns it in. There's no offside flag. Brian Graham scores again against Airdrieonians at the West Stadium at Firhill. 4 minutes in, the Jacks at the front.
Yeah, could play again, and it was Sullivan.
Plays it to Milne, back to Bannigan, back to Milne. It's a great ball forward. Milne step over across the middle, and Graham touches it in. Thistle are back in front. Great ball from Bannigan. Spreads the play out to Chalmers. Chalmers lays it back to Robinson first time, and then Robinson back out wide to Chalmers. Waiting on the support from Megwa. Chalmers attacking Stevenson. Put a left foot crossing towards the back post. Brian Graham's there. Heads it back across goal. And then laying it back to Crawford now. Crawford on to Robinson. Robinson looking for Graham. Who's there. Heads it past Albinson and in. Brian Graham makes it through. For now, they're trying to keep their foot on the gas. It's Fitzpatrick to take on Tumulty. Going on the outside. Left foot cross. Brian Graham's there and it's 5-1. Brilliant driven ball by. Looking to get it to Chalmers. Picks him out. And towards Brian Graham, and he forces it home. Brian Graham on the score sheet against Airdrieonians once again. 11 times. It'll be Turner bending it around the wall off the post. Brian Graham helps in, and Thistle are in front. Another goal. Out to Chalmers, who's on the right here, taking on Scott. Right footed cross blocked, comes back towards Chalmers, comes back to Scott, back to Chalmers again, puts it back in the middle. Brian Graham taps it home. The deflected cross came off the woodwork. And forward and playing it out to Fitzpatrick, who can take on Tumulty. Fitzpatrick, left footed cross, great area. Brian Graham touches it in, and Thistle are level. And it's the instant impact from Aidan Fitzpatrick. Chalmers on Thistle's right hand side. And Chalmers taking on Graham, getting by him. Putting it in towards Brian Graham, and he turns it in.
Goal.
Fantastic finish from Brian Graham. Logan Chalmers at the centre. Cross from him. Dan O'Reilly heads it away, and Frizzell slightly misjudges it. Chalmers couldn't quite take it off him, but then Turner plays it forward to Bannigan, and Thistle are on the break. It's Bannigan out to Kanayo Megwa. He's on the left wing here. Support coming. Megwa holds it up, taking on Armstrong. Looking for a pass, finding Brian Graham. Takes a touch, shoots and scores! Brian Graham on the score sheet again against Airdrieonians. What a counter! Only as far as Megwa. Megwa now can put a right foot cross in, blocked by Wilson. Now Chalmers with the cross. Nottingham can't get there, and Brian Graham turns it in at the back post. Chalmers with a perfect cross into the 6-yard box, and Graham with making lots of passes without getting very far. Lawless plays it into the middle. Brian Graham flicks it on, and that one's into the back of the net over the top of Linus. There's Adams on the right hand side. Back to Lang, who gives it away. Brian Graham onto it, slots it under the goalkeeper. An error from Tom Lang. Fitzpatrick was onto it, and Brian Graham with a calm left-footed finish puts Thistle in front after 5 minutes here at the Wire Stadium at Firhill. Thistle players start moving. Brian Graham to the back post, goes towards the back post. Graham's open, header, and it's in. He peeled off from the middle of the 6-yard box. Lowe landed it on his head, and he just cushioned it in at the near post past the goalkeeper Josh Clark. And Thistle are back on level terms in the tie.
Not a bad touch from Jamie Lowe.
Back on the pitch. It's up towards Graham, just inside the air box. Heads it down, Jakubiak. Graham scores! It's Brian Graham with number 100 for Thistle in the closing minutes of the second leg here at Somerset Park. Knocked down by Jakubiak, finished by Graham, and Thistle are in front.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You could not have picked a moment like that to score goal number 100 in Thistle colours in the 89th minute of the game here at Somerset Park. And Brian Graham, of all people, has turned this game on its head, and Thistle